Welcome courtside, everybody, as we get ready for the final game of the 13th annual D3Hoops.com Classic. It's day number 4. It's game number 16. I'm Dave McHugh, joined by somebody eventually here. I know we'll find out. There's a lot of work going on behind the scenes. Don't need to get on anybody. They'll be here when they can. I think it'll be Pat Coleman. Looking forward to that as we get ready for the final one. It's number 4, Oswego State. The Lakers are 7-1 coming in. Number 21, Pomona-Pitzer. Sage Hens are 9-1 coming in. Both teams have lost a game here at the D3Hoops.com Classic. Their first of the season. Both do not want to come out of here 2-0. The bad news is, according to the rules of basketball, one of them is going to leave here with a 0-2 record. One of them will get the victory. We'll take a look at the starting lineups in a moment, starting with the Sage Hens of Pomona-Pitzer, and then we'll get the Lakers of Oswego. One important thing to preview for you, just so you know, there will be a robust conversation about which mascot would win in a battle, either the Lakers or the Sage Hens. Someone out on the lake, maybe rowing, versus a rather chaotic chicken. We'll figure it out.
Of all the chickens, the most chaotic.
He's not that sage.
I'm not that sage.
As we take a look, let's take a look at the starting lineups. We'll start with the Sage Hens of Pomona-Pitzer out of the Southern California Intercollegiate Athletic Conference in Claremont, California, part of the Pomona-Pitzer Claremont Mud Scripps Consortium of 5 schools. And they'll start number 5, Joe Goodson, the junior guard out of Mercer Island, Washington. Also number 11, Peyton Malarkey, the junior guard out of Novato, California. Number 21, I should say. Oh, no, I was right. Number 12, Jasper Hayden, the 6'5 freshman guard out of Winona, Wisconsin. Number 21, Ty Bergman, the 6'7 junior forward out of Denver, Colorado. And number 44, Pete Boyle, the 6'8 junior forward out of Boulder, Colorado. Denver and Boulder well represented.
Winona's in Minnesota. I know that type is super small.
I said Minnesota. What did I say?
You said Wisconsin, which...
Oh, I apologize. I was
some days
Minnesota.
We might trade across the river. Maybe we'll give them Winona and take back lacrosse.
I was thinking Minnesota. That's very... Oh, it says Winona right after. Maybe I saw the W and got a little baffled there. For the Lakers of Oswego State, representing the State University of New York Athletic Association, better known as the SUNYAC, out of Oswego, New York, up on the Lake of Ontario, is kind of in the upper northwest corner of the state of New York. It is number 3, Jamal Achille, the 6'4 graduate forward out of Staten Island, New York. Number 5, Aki Anderson, the 6-foot junior guard out of Greenport, New York. Number 10, Caleb Cook, the 6'1 graduate guard out of Auburn, New York. Number 21, Cartier Bowman, the 6'6 senior forward out of Trenton, New Jersey. And number 23, Jeremiah Sparks, a 6'3 senior guard out of Jordan, New York. Quick note, Chris Toscano, who normally wears number 11, will be wearing number 12 in this one.
Dave, we talked at length about the length that Oswego State gave up in their first game here to Case Western Reserve. Case Western Reserve, big and long. Bad news for Lakers fans. Pomona-Pitzer also big and long.
Talking to Jason Leon, though, they had the day off. Talking to him yesterday, he wasn't as thrown by the size. He doesn't think his guys actually have issues going against bigger teams. As we know, they did pretty well in the NCAA tournament last year. But he did feel that they need to get more used to it. But also, it's a team that still needs to grow a little bit and learn and experience some of the challenges. They had not experienced a 10-point deficit. I want to look this up. Since 2019.
Wow. No kidding, really?
So, you know what, gentlemen? Let's experience some tough things. That's what these teams come out to the D3Hoops.com Classic to do. Clark's a great example of that. Oswego and many Rhodes. Everybody came out here because they knew they'd get tested and they wanted to be tested. As we get ready to get underway, we're up and going. Oswego will win the tip. They're in the home whites. Pump fake from Cook. Step in from 12. No good. Ball bounces around. And the Pitzers of Pomona pull down. Just had to say it.
I think they prefer to go only by Pomona-Pitzer.
No, of course not. Yes.
I said Sage Hens a lot.
Pomona-Pitzer with the ball. They're in the blue uniforms with the white numbers and red trim. Going right to left in this first half across your big screen, your computer monitor, your mobile device, maybe just in your mind as you're listening at home as they miss their opening shot of the event as well. Another top 25 battle here at the D3Hoops.com Classic. We had, I believe, 4 of them, right? Am I correct on that? Or 3
4 versus 8, 22 versus 21, 4 versus 21.
Yeah, just 3 of them. I missed out. Yep, 3 of them. Clark's the one who was the wild card who could have been a top 25 team, maybe.
Tyler Sims certainly made his case in our post-game interview that's on the conversation list.
Hardly considered them on my last ballot coming into this.
It's kind of team that, with their performance and who they played, might fare better in the poll, even with the 2 losses.
Anderson misses it on that. And an illegal screen is going to be called on Boyle. Head coach for Pomona-Pitzer is Charles Katsiafikas, the Tufts grad of 1984. His son, also here at the event, playing for Husson because they vacation in Maine. He knows Wayne Caruso well, and his son said, I want to hang with Wayne Caruso, Dad. Sorry.
That is
California
the thumbnail
is lovely,
sketch.
but I'd rather spend winters in Bangor.
He wanted to get away from home to go to college, and that's a common refrain in the world at large.
Missed opportunity. We're still stuck at 0-0. Pomona trying to break that up and finally do.
Jasper Hedin with the 3.
Thank you. That's who I was looking for, Jasper Hedin.
The
Wisconsin, right?
You'll remember
Wisconsin?
it with the headband.
Yes. I'm joking, folks. It's Minnesota if you missed the starting lineups. The runner in the lane, no good for Sparks.
I mean, how far did you go from home to go to college?
Baltimore. So 12-hour dive on a good day.
Yeah.
Day and a half trip on buses and trains.
Man, I went halfway across the country, about 1,100-mile drive. It happens.
Folks, apologies for our graphics. I just realized our camera went offline on us, so we'll get our camera back up and running and get you graphics here in a moment.
Yep, 17:50 to go here in the first half, and a 3-pointer ties it up at 3 apiece.
Anderson getting that one. Well done by him as they finally get some points, and we tied at 3 apiece, as Pat just mentioned. So Pomona-Pitzer back on offense.
Malarkey, kind of the smallest guy on the floor, definitely yesterday against Trinity. And there he gives it for Boyle for 3.
Yeah, Boyle for 3 as we've traded threes suddenly in this one, and we are looking at a 6-3 lead.
Boyle's a 6'8 guy who shoots 3. Cookson, a 6'6 guy who shoots 3s. They're just large all around, and there's a 3 that doesn't go from the corner for Sparks. Dave's got to do the technology here.
Yeah. Looking in the corner of my eye as Cookson has it. Hands it off to the big man far side. Likes to shoot, leaves it short, does Boyle. He just hit the 3, so obviously he likes to shoot.
Does like to and is often successful at it.
Yes, actually a lot of big men in Division III are very comfortable with the 3-pointer. Nice job by Sparks inside to stick with that one.
I think too, Dave, that's why we can send a lot of guys to Europe after graduation.
Absolutely.
Right? That's a skill set that is a big part of that game over there.
Yeah, coveted. As we get our overlay back up and running.
There you go. You didn't miss much, folks.
16 and a half left. As Boyle drives in, misses that one. No, that wasn't Boyle. That was Hedin. Misses that one. Here come the Lakers the other direction. Sparks will pop for 3. It looks good, but left it left. And another strong rebound by the Sage Hens as both these two top 25 teams have started a little bit slow here. 6-5 the lead for Pomona-Pitzer.
Yep, bit of feeling each other out. Oswego, though, they score 87.6 a game. And
great feed inside as Malarkey's able to find Bregman.
Pomona-Pitzer not quite as many, but still 77 a game. Still in the top third of D3.
Driving, Cook. Leaves his pivot foot down, kicks it outside to Achille. Achille finds Sparks back to Cook. Now he'll get it to Anderson. Anderson from about 10 feet, cannot hit that. So far, Pomona-Pitzer is packing it in a little bit more than I think the Lakers were expecting. Spin move in the lane and leaving it short was Cookson, but he'll go to the line to shoot free throws.
Nice spin move to get open. Just maybe a little bit too spinny by the time he got open. Is a little bit off balance.
Yeah.
A little too centrifugal.
Sure.
That's the D3 version of the word.
So shooting free throws is the aforementioned Cookson, who's the team's best at 83%. Makes the first. He will leave, or he will stay on the line. They actually sub out Hedin and Bregman. need to double check. They brought in Charlie Treen, the 6'8" sophomore from Ross, California. Listed as a guard/forward. Sorry, he's a forward.
Yeah, he wears number 33. He's a big guy out there.
He plays up top, but I'm labeling a forward. And the other one that came in was number 14, Owen Abdulovic, the 6'6" junior guard forward from Folsom, California.
Yep, Abdulovic, you got it. Abdulovic, Hedin. Those are the tough names out there, I would guess.
Inside. Pops back out for Cookson. Cookson runs out of real estate, throws it back out to Treen. Treen with a layup on the drive.
I don't know that I saw a ton of that from Treen yesterday against Trinity of Texas. Trinity, of course, bunch of big guys in the middle, who can really clog that space up defensively.
Left that short. I think did that get
partially
tipped
blocked?
from Malarkey?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Malarkey has the ball, tips it up ahead. And now in the hands of Treen. Treen to Boyle. To Cookson. Cookson leaves it short. Anderson pulls down the board. Here comes the Lakers. Sparks with the ball. He shot poorly in the first half, though it was still 36-33 against Case Western Reserve late in the first half. As leaving that short was Achille. He'll get it back and it rolls in for him. They shot poorly at about 30%, and Case Western Reserve took advantage of it late in the first half to get a good lead. And despite shooting better as the second half progressed, you couldn't stop a hot shooting Case Western Reserve team who might want to play the rest of their games here.
I say nobody did, that's for sure.
They shot 54% for the event. And they ended up trucking Oswego State in that game. And Pomona-Pitzer experienced the same with Trinity, who played very well in their game.
That's a travel.
Yeah, took an extra step to Achille.
Second turnover for Oswego here in the first half.
Lakers will bring in Julian Crittenden, a 6'2" graduate guard from Melville, New York. And the Sage Hens will bring in Bergman again. They also brought in Hayden Moser, the senior 6'4" guard out of Tucson, Arizona.
Moser's easy to notice because he's got the same hairline I do.
Spin move in the lane, left short by Cookson. Quickly up ahead and into the game is Cartier Bowman again, and he tracked that ball down. Now they'll get it to Sparks here on the near wing. He goes around a fence post, I guess. Sparks hits a three. I don't think that screen was set up the way it was intended, but it worked out.
No, and then Bergman comes around the picket fence, for lack of a better term, and almost gets a hand in the face of that shot.
12-10 the lead for the Sage Hens, who have possession of the ball with 12:35 left to go in the event this year, or in the first half of the event this year. I almost had that right. Missing the shot was Bergman, gets his own rebound, now battling for it with Achille, and he'll draw a second foul. I believe it's his second foul. No, the previous was a travel I was thinking of. Into the game for the Lakers comes Tucker Rossbrook, the 6'8" freshman forward from Watertown, New York. Just 3 fouls so far called on these two teams, battling, but within the scope of the rules. Moser with the ball.
We appreciate that.
Well, we don't have the fans to tell us for these two teams when the fouls are correct or incorrect. Cookson, and they're going to call a foul in the post as Rossbrook was getting aggressive, and Jason Leon not happy about that decision from Rossbrook. He's not arguing with the officials. He's kind of yelling at his own player. Rossbrook looks a bit befuddled. They will bring in Kenny Lazo, the 5'10" junior guard out of Brentwood, New York. He will replace Anderson. This is a good Oswego team that is still learning, to be honest. Granted, they lost a couple pieces from last year. A team that knocked off Randolph-Macon at home, ending an 80-plus home game winning streak for the Yellow Jackets in this third round of the NCAA tournament. And then just had a rough game like they did here against Whitewater in the round of 8. And Whitewater went on to the Final Four. Oswego has been wanting redemption since, and now facing their first challenge of the season. First time on the road as well. Sparks for 3, no good. Quirk of the schedule, they played their first 7 games at home.
And right in the SUNYAC, you're going to have some weird travel, right, where you're going to get on the bus and go on the New York State Thruway through snow for 5 hours to get to Plattsburgh or whatever, or Fredonia, depending on which direction you're going. Oswego's a little more in the middle.
I was going to say Plattsburgh, that's a trip they won't mind. New Paltz? Maybe not.
Yeah, of all the Paltzes.
A shot no good from the top of the key. Neither team is starting this game on fire.
Yeah, 4 of 13 from the floor for Pomona-Pitzer.
12-10 the lead for the Sage Hens. Don't confuse them with the Rosemary Hens.
There's time for Hens later.
I was setting it up. I want to put it right on the tee. The ball will go out of bounds. McHugh can't hold on to it, and back into the game for the Sage Hens comes Hedin and Boyle. I said it right, Hedin?
Hedin, yep.
Okay, good. I want to make sure I get the right E, because it could be Hedin or Hedin.
Or Hedin or whatever.
Hedin. Yep, no, I'm saying that legitimately. Into the game for the Lakers, by the way, Jaden Kennedy, number 15, the sophomore guard, 6'4", out of District Heights, Maryland.
I don't think that's how that's pronounced, but I could be wrong.
Depends on where you are.
Merland.
Drive to the, Hedin gets the layup there, Merlin. You just forget some of the letters in the words.
Balmer.
That one drives me nuts. Lazo with the miss. Just make sure you add Hun to the end of it, and you're all set.
Balmer, Hun.
1 quarter of this game in the books. 12-10. Sage Hens the lead in a low-scoring affair. As that 3 rims out for Boyle. He had it pretty on target. Just hit the front rim, back rim, and out. Sparks will drive in on 3. And will draw the foul, and Sparks must have said something. The official made sure to reply to him, and Jordan immediately apologized. I have a feeling he was frustrated at what he thought was going to be a no call when the call came. I know.
Meanwhile, you see Coach Katsiafikas out there trying to, demonstrate something for one of his players.
Sparks misses the free throw. He came in pretty good from the free throw line. Perfect 26 of 26 coming into the event, though he did not stay perfect against Case Western Reserve. In fact, he was 2 for 4 in the second half at one point.
Agreed. Yep.
He's 1 for 2 now. 14-11 with under 10 minutes to play.
So Pomona-Pitzer came into this tournament shooting 46% from the floor.
And a little too aggressive there from Kennedy.
And then they were 23 of 60 last night, and the 5 of 15 so far here today. You have not really found the range here at the South Point Arena.
Malarkey back in. Out goes Treen.
I've always compared this to like a Cal State Northridge kind of building.
Sure.
A Big West type of facility.
Oswego plays in an expansive place, though not off the baseline.
Yeah, exactly.
Very expansive off the sidelines.
Right, it's one of those 60s big barns.
Yeah, where you could fit like 3 different events in it if you really want to.
Yeah, true.
You have wrestling going on along with basketball and maybe something else depending on the bleachers. 3 seconds left on the shot clock. Malarkey's in trouble. He's lost track. That did not get off in time.
It did. I'm sorry, it did. I'm good. I feel good about it.
Well, the refs did too, but that just means 4 out of 5 did not only agree, and there was a 5th dissenter.
And the doctors all recommend chewing carefree, sugarless gum.
Turn around good.
Sparks looking good today.
13, and Coach Katsiafikas wants to have a quick conversation. Jason Leon, Jason Leon, I guess you're going to have to say 4 out of 6 because Jason Leon's on the same boat as me. Thought that shot was not off in time. And, listen, Jason Leon actually carries 2 votes, so we'll make it 4 out of 7. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Make sure you go to d3hoops.com for more on this event. We've got plenty of conversations. We call them classic conversations here at the d3hoops.com Classic. We try and talk to every single team. Did we get every single team?
Well, we're on it so far. We haven't missed anybody yet.
That's all that matters. Lots of interviews getting posted still as we're finishing up conversations. So get to hear from every team, whether it be a player, a coach, or both. Good combos. We're even playing some of them at halftime. I forgot to look at my player list for this this game. We're going to hear from Rhodes' Judy Thurman and Whittier's Mark Jensen.
You know what, Dave? I think the minority opinion is true. As I've got you one exquisitely frozen frame that appears, it's hard to tell,
it's definitely in his hands with
at
lights on.
720p from the upper balcony.
Lights
does
on,
look like it's
ball
still in
hand.
his hands, and the shot clock reads 0.
That shot missed. Lakers get it back. Coming with a head of steam. Lazo with the ball. Check who's actually in this game in terms of players. We'll get you that in a minute. In the meantime, into the corner, three-pointer on the way. It's Lazo had it, Hardison, Crittenden, Kennedy, and Sparks for the Lakers. It's Mosier, Malarkey, Hedin, Bergman, and Boyle for Pomona-Pitzer. The foul was called on Boyle, his second, team's third. Little misbounced pass there for Kennedy, who's taking the free throws, and the official will take it back with apologies. 2 for 3 coming into the event on the free throw line. Guess it threw him. Two shots. Wait, what? He was taking a 3 at the time? I kid you not. I thought that was somewhere else. I apologize. I really did think he was somewhere else on the floor. So he's got one more coming. He made one. We're down to a 2-point game here. 16-14. Pomona-Pitzer up on Oswego, and he hits the second. So 2 out of 3, and back into the game comes Achille to replace Sparks.
Confirm there was a 3.
Thank you. I had him somewhere completely different on the floor. I got no idea why I felt that, but c'est la vie.
Cookson triple teamed.
Yeah, in the meantime, triple team. Whoa, almost traveled after Achille had his teammate barrel into him. Good to stay on his feet there. And stay with his feet, I should say. Spin move by Crittenden. He'll kick it outside to Achille. Achille now to Lazo. Lazo back to Achille. Achille. Spin move. Puts it off glass. No, tries to buy a call with a head nod. And doesn't. There's a foul away from the Achille on the rebound, and it goes against the Lakers.
Head nod is not the currency that it used to be, Dave.
I'm
It's been
glad
really
it's not.
devalued.
I'm glad it's not. Getting tired of a lot of calls going because you snapped your head back and made it look like a foul.
Head nods are cheap.
In the meantime, Pomona-Pitzer back on the attack. 7.5 left, leading by 1 now. And led by a handful. Bounce pass inside, slam, dunk. That's the way to finish. Ty Bergman. And I think Jason Leon's at least called a timeout. I don't know if he got anything else out of that deal, but he got a 30-second timeout. He's rather ticked off at his team.
Yeah, you played great defense for 27 seconds, and I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, you're fine.
And then Bergman comes down and slams it home at the end of the shot clock.
You have to reset the scoreboard. They put the points on the wrong team in all their excitement. It should be 18-15 Pomona-Pitzer.
And I think that discussion is being had. I see stat person and
Cruz confirming that.
scoreboard, and there we
Pat
go.
looked at me, and I'm looking at the scoreboard with the most puzzled look going, when did the Lakers take the lead?
Not yet.
So Jason Leon frustrated his team defensively. He calls a timeout. Both teams have now called a timeout in this one. And we'll get back underway here from Las Vegas. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate your patronage. Can't do it.
Patronage?
That's what I was trying to get out. Lazo missed the 3. That's one of my, great word that I can never seem to.
Patronization? No, that's not it.
Philanthropy is another one if I'm reading it. I can say it without reading it.
Philanthropy.
As Malarkey misses it. I said that in a PA read once. Not ideal. And a missed shot there as Bowman was going up for it. And I think the foul is going against Bergman.
Yeah, and they called it a foul on the floor also. Looking at Sean Edwards coming into the game for Oswego. Edwards, a senior out of Brooklyn, New York.
Float into Sparks, who has to pull that. Ooh, that got a little gnarly. Lazo's going to drive, kick out. Sparks, no, I thought about it. Now he'll kick it and give away.
Sparks has strong knees, let's put it that way.
Yes, he does. Lazo from the free throw line, no good. Strong rebound and put up.
Wow.
It's going to count. Welcome to the game, Sean Edwards.
Seriously, talk about establishing your presence with some authority.
That was impressive.
It's a 6'4" senior off the bench. Only played in 3 games prior to the tournament. It's a nice pick-me-up right there. And this foul shot could tie the game.
And it does. Tie ball game here at the D3Hoops.com Classic in the finale of the 13th annual event.
Woohoo!
Looking forward to the 14th next year at the South Point Arena and Equestrian Center in Las Vegas, Nevada.
Dave, did you know that this facility hosts equestrian events 46 weeks of the year?
Yeah, they are busy here. To the point that when we're breaking down, they're breaking down this for another event coming up immediately after.
That's right. We have definitely had to ask them to please don't break down our table just yet.
Yep. Yeah, or power. They have turned
that's
down our
happened.
power on several occasions.
That has happened.
Or
And the internet. Yep.
It's like we're on the same page or something. Ball out of bounds will allow Pete Boyle to return.
Right, they just keep getting taller, right? So you bring Boyle in. Boyle is 6'8". Bergman is 6'7". I'm surprised Bergman is 6'7", frankly. Edwards.
Shot badly missed. That'll be a shot clock violation. They reset the clock a little premature there. That's okay. Officials on top of it as Charlie Treen will return to the game. So it's been a rough shooting game for both teams as their woes from game 1 continue into game 2. 5.5 to go opening half. We're knotted at 18 apiece. The women's teams have scored more in a quarter than these guys have done in a quarter and a half. Traveling violation will be called on Cookson.
4th turnover of the half. Dave, did you see that our Skyak friend is back today? That's where he's sitting over there. He's walking down the stairs right now.
Oh, yes. I didn't. Was he back yes? Or just
He was
back
not,
today?
just today.
Yeah, okay. I know he was saying he was going to come, but I was surprised I hadn't seen him yet.
Agreed.
By the way,
Yeah.
the sand, or the dust coming from the equestrian area
Yeah.
is
It's a little bit of negative vacuum, whatever here.
Traveling violation.
Just off to the right-hand side. You can't see it in this camera
It's the first time
angle.
I've seen it.
In years.
Yeah. I'm a little thrown, to be completely honest. In the meantime, underway.
Have to do a really good job sweeping the floor at halftime. And maybe at a media timeout.
Maybe it's a hint that we should have been out of here already. Driving in is Treen. Treen gets cut off by Edwards. Now Boyle comes in. Nice job by Bowman on him defensively, and that was halfway home. Ball bounces around, and Keeley pulls it down.
I thought Boyle did just about everything he could there. Just
I agree.
Had that thing about halfway down before it rattled out.
Did a good job. Jumper from the far side is good for Anderson.
You know, Dave, what I'd like to
first lead of the game.
What I'd like to see is one of these Division III schools with great physics departments or something like that. Give us the physics of what's happening when a ball goes seemingly in halfway and then rattles out. What is going on with that basketball to make that happen?
Well, especially because one could be due to a spin, and that could be centrifugal force forcing it out.
Yep.
That jumper, no good off the back. The ones that rattle in and rattle out are the ones that perplex me the most. When they're halfway home and bounce out, Sparks decided to forget the rim altogether. And Lakers are on a roll, 24-18, as they are absolutely clicking right now.
Sparks with 11.
3:53 remaining. Here in the first half, Seichen suddenly down by 6. Boyle backing down Bowman. Kicks it out, extra pass, Malarkey for 3. Jason Leon didn't like it, but it worked out for the Lakers. And now he calms down himself and tells the team to calm down himself. Is into the game for Pomona-Pitzer. Returns Hayden Mosier and Ty Bergman. That was actually funny to watch.
I like Malarkey too, Dave. He's one of the hardest working guys on that team. He's 5'10", and almost nobody who is in the regular rotation is shorter than like 6'4". So he's given up. I mean, obviously this is size to his own teammates, and here's a timeout. But
30 seconds timeout.
He's working hard to get open. He's, often out there on the perimeter when they've sagged off of him. He has to have a really quick release because almost anybody who defends him is going to be taller than he is. I just like Malarkey's work that he's done so far in this tournament.
He works hard, and it's certainly appreciated, I'm sure, by his teammates. You're watching the D3Hoops.com Classic. Thanks for tuning in. He's Pat Coleman. I'm Dave McHugh. It's been an entertaining tournament, to say the least. It's not a tournament. Kind of default there.
Event
is a much better way of saying that.
So we talked about this on the previous Pomona-Pitzer game, but of course, Coach Katsiafikas, all he did was replace Greg Popovich as head coach of Pomona-Pitzer. That was back in 1989.
Definitely heard of him.
Coach Katz has won 563 games. He's fourth amongst active Division III coaches for most career wins. Brian Baptiste at 708. Dick Peth, Wartburg, 621. Bob McVeigh at RIT at 604. And then Coach Katz.
What stuns me is that he was an assistant under Popovich. Took over the program, still there.
Right.
The longevity. Love talking to Katsiafikas. He's one of my favorite interviews on Hoopsville. We will be talking to him later in the year.
I mean, Dave, like I've said to many people today, or at this tournament, this event, he was the chair of the national committee when we got started back in 1998, 1999. Yeah. When I had no idea, really, what Pomona-Pitzer was.
Yeah. 8-point lead by the Lakers, by the way. They are absolutely on a tear here, Pat.
They are.
11-0 run in the last 3-11. 15-2 in the last almost 6 minutes. Spin move in the lane, breaks that run up a little bit by Cookson.
Cookson's first field goal of the day.
They had gone 1 for their previous 7 prior to that. And a little 2-3 zone look here from the Sage Hens. 2:50 remaining in the half. Lakers. Oh, Sparks from NBA range continues to pour on the pressure. 29-20, Lakers 14-2 run.
And 14 points for Sparks.
I'm trying to avoid the obvious play on words there.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
On Achille, as Cookson forced the issue. Lakers 14-2 run. They are 3 of their last 3 overall, shooting 9 of 27 from the floor. Pomona is 8 of 24. This is their second trip to the free throw line today. It is Cookson, who is a very good free throw shooter and converts. As Boyle will return to the game for the Sage Hens, and Davilich will leave.
Now, a very good team is going to come out of here 0-2, like you said at the top of the show.
Second one is good. Cuts the deficit to 7. And another sub as Crittenden will come back in for the Lakers to replace Achille. The red hat has stood up to let us know we need a break. Little 1-2-2 here from the Sage Hens, sagging back into a 3-2.
Does she get to walk out on the floor?
And not all have to if they're good at their jobs. Sparks to Crittenden to Cook. To Anderson, back to Sparks on the near side. He gets it back to Anderson, 8 on the shot clock. Crittenden cut off the top of the key. Cook looking for options, 5 on the shot clock. As Crittenden buries the 3. He is 46% from deep, but he did not have much of a game in the first one against the Spartans. But he comes up with a big shot there, lead up to 10.
That's a nice look, and using all the shot clock, too.
Absolutely.
Oswego being the team to try to slow down the pace here, I guess.
Shot from just inside the elbow for Mojo is left. Short into Cook for 3. Deep, back iron no good. Rebound hold down by Cookson. Nobody shooting the lights out of the building, but Lakers are certainly doing better than the Sage Hens.
And this is the better backdrop, right? Allegedly.
Allegedly. I think in the last few years we're starting to see that is disappearing for whatever reason, as Cook got greedy, went in to try and get a swap, and got all forearm instead. With 65 seconds left to go here, opening half. 32-22 the lead for the Lakers, and going to the line for the Sage Hens is Ty Bergman. Remember, coming up at halftime, we'll have a couple of conversations that will re-air. Rude's Judy Thurman and Whittier's Mark Jensen will be our conversations. We have talked to, or actually we haven't talked to either of these teams, have we?
No, we have not yet.
So that's why we aren't airing there.
Right, we got the other 14 of teams in the can, and they're all on our YouTube and on our website.
Crittenden to Cook. Cook thought about going back to Crittenden, now will do so. 44 seconds under, and a whistle on the drive will go, I believe, against Treen. It will be Treen.
Dave, I think among my favorites are Gordon talking to Colin Cale of Case Western Reserve, and then the conversation I just had with Tony Thompson and Anahid Alajanian, the junior guard and head coach at Occidental. That's a fun conversation. They call her Coach Heat, and some because it's easier to pronounce than Anahid Alajanian, but also sometimes she comes out and brings the heat.
That I can believe wholeheartedly. Firecracker of a coach. She was working the sideline today. 26 seconds left to go here. Lakers lead by 10. Around the screen is Hadeen. Hadeen into the basket. Can't get a shot off cleanly. Bowman pulls down the rebound. Will hold for the final shot here with just about 10 seconds left. Sparks with the ball, goes around the Bowman screen. He'll step back for the three and barely made the net move. And that will be the score at the end of the first half. Oswego up 35-22.
Hear how fired up Sparks was.
Sparks was absolutely fired up, and for good reason. We'll take a break. Again, conversations at halftime. We'll get you back for stats and more as we get ready for second half action. Number 4, Oswego State leads number 21, Pomona-Pitzer, 35-22 after 20 minutes.
More schools than Division I, more fans than Division II, and more upsets than March Madness. There's nearly 850 programs with over 11,000 games leading to 2 national championships. And we've been covering it all for over 2 decades. From Eastern to Occidental, from Puget Sound to Piedmont, from Southwestern to the University of New England, and from Hope to Calvin. Nobody covers Division III basketball like we do. We're D3Hoops.com at www.d3hoops.com.
For the love of the game. But for those of us who are Division III student athletes, it's more than that, a lot more.
Sure, the game is important, but as we work so hard to build both mind and body, it's more about team.
That is why NCAA Division III teamed up with Special Olympics, and in giving the gift of sport to those for whom it seemed an impossible dream, we are working to make this a better world.
Help us keep that dream alive.
You can make a difference.
The beautiful thing about a liberal arts education is you have to take classes all over the place.
So I think we're very versatile in terms of what we learn and what we know.
And because of that, you might find love in an area of study that you've never been exposed to before.
And here at Rhodes, you can make that a double major, you can make that a minor. Anything that you can think of, you can kind of take that and run with it. And Rhodes is here to support you through that.
Welcome back to Las Vegas. This is Gordon Mann from the 2023 D3Hoops.com Classic, joined by head coach Judy Thurman of the Rhodes College Lynx. You know, you come out here, you get a 20-point win yesterday, you have a lopsided loss today. It's kind of been the way the season's gone. You're 5-5. Assess it for me at this point.
Yeah, so definitely had one of our best games 2 days ago, and then today definitely not our best at all. And so having to find that consistency right now is what we're trying to do, and really work on consistency playing 4 quarters. And so still working through. We're still obviously trying to get that tempo with the offense because I put in a new one and stuff like that. We're getting there and all that, and that just takes time. And so big thing right now is that consistency factor.
Tell me about how the offense has changed.
So it's a different kind of style of play. And so we've got more of more movement, kind of more trying to have a little more structure in the movement, but also being able to just kind of play a little bit more out of it.
I saw that you had a lot more backdoor cuts forwards, passing to guards. Is that part of the structure?
Yes, it is. And we obviously have great post players, so definitely want to use our size and advantage to that. And so yes, that is designed in that way.
So you were the assistant under Coach Rogan for a while. You've been with this program and had a lot of success here. Why change the offense? Is it a personal preference? Is it the personnel you have?
It was definitely a personnel choice. Okay. So I felt like it would fit our personnel better in that, and definitely being able to play more of our bigs and stuff together in the kind of offense that I'm wanting to run now.
I noticed that you have, a little off target today, but you have Lakos and Althoff, who are both athletic forwards. They can move with their feet, they can pass, so I imagine that's what you're trying to take advantage of.
Yes, exactly, and looking for more of those kind of high-low kind of actions and definitely like rolling to the basket and everything. So definitely didn't get it done today and definitely didn't execute and stuff what we needed to, but we'll bounce back and we'll get back at it.
Not all bad. Avery Marsh, our all-tournament team, very young guard, 2 double-digit games. Talk to me about how you found her and how you got her to come to Rhodes.
So she is from Arkansas, great player, just great teammate too. Great person as well, and so definitely glad to have her. We knew we needed a point guard in that recruiting class, and we definitely got her. And so she just competes and works hard every single day, and I can't ask any more of her and what she does, and she's a great team leader as well. And so glad that she is just a sophomore, and I still have her, but definitely deserve to be on that all-tournament team, and so yes.
So what's different about being the head coach as opposed to being the assistant?
Well, I definitely get to make those decisions now. Those final decisions. But yeah, no, it's been great, and I'm very thankful for the opportunity. Got a great crew, great group, and I know that we're going to pick it back up and get going on the next one as conference starts here.
Yeah. So we mentioned this off the camera. I want to make sure I get this right. So your last home game was November 18th. Since then, you've played in Atlanta, Georgia, Florida, Nevada. You'll go home and you'll play immediately at Hendricks, which is in Arkansas. And then Barry and Oglethorpe, which are in Georgia. Your next home game is against Millsaps, who's number 1 in the in terms of record in the conference, and that's 2 months difference. I know this wasn't intentional, but how does this help you prepare for the season?
Well, it definitely prepares. We've played a lot of great competition, and then we've been on the road. So we obviously know how to play on the road against a lot of different odds. Obviously, to me, when you play at home, you kind of have more of that home court advantage, and just it's nice to sleep in your own bed. So we definitely are used to being on that road, and I think that's going to help, especially when we are playing in the conference on the road because we're used to playing there.
One thing we always appreciate about Rhodes is you guys play a tough schedule. Again, the case this year, played Mary Hardin-Baylor, you played Emory, you played here. And then you get into conference and you are dominant there. You won the last 4 MVPs. What's the difference for you guys between conference and non-conference?
Well, obviously, like you said, we try to always make sure we have a big non-conference, hard schedule there because that's what's really helping prepare us for conference. Obviously, our conference is still really tough, but that non-conference really helps us be ready for that and puts us in different situations. I like to play teams that play different styles, so then our conference plays different styles, so then we're ready to go on that.
Give me a little bit of a scouting report on the SAA. Take Rhodes out of it. Tell me about the other top teams in that conference.
So, yeah, to me in that one, you never know whose game it is. All the teams play really, really hard. Some have post players, some have more of a guard type look, but it's definitely a conference you cannot sleep on for sure.
So last question for you. You're out here with the men's team as well. You had yesterday off. I think both teams had yesterday off.
Did.
So what did you do in Vegas besides basketball?
So a lot of them went over to the mall, kind of just walking around, trying to just see Vegas a little bit. So it's more so just kind of exploring a little bit.
First time here in Las Vegas?
Yes, so for me and a lot of our other players. So yes, it was.
Well, we're very glad to have you at the D3Hoops.com Classic. Good luck the rest of the way. We'll certainly keep our eye on you as you head through the SAA race. And Rhodes men's basketball tips off here just in front of us in just a little bit.
Yes, thank you.
From the D3Hoops.com with Coach Thurman, this is Gordon Mann.
I believe sportsmanship is a mutual admiration and respect for your fellow competitors. We all go through a lot to reach the point where we compete against one another. It's important to realize that. So once we're finally on the field or on the court or on the starting block, we look at each other as fellow human beings and not just competitors. Being able to recognize the hard work that other athletes are putting in creates a more positive and inclusive environment.
Being at a liberal arts school and majoring in business, it definitely gives you both perspectives because I'm taking classes about art and music. I've been taking religious studies classes, but then I'm also taking these very specific classes about accounting or statistics and finance. So I'm glad that I went to a liberal arts school because I definitely got a completely different side of the education rather than just being a business major.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and I know how powerful words can be. The term gay doesn't mean stupid, lame, or less than.
So I pledge to speak up if I hear the term gay used in a derogatory way or any other homophobic terms.
If you can play in Division III.
I'm a Division III student athlete, and my teammates unconditionally accepted me as part of their family. So now I pledge to do the same for others. If you can play in Division III.
Out here in Las Vegas at the D3Hoops.com Classic, 13th annual event at the South Point Arena and Casino. And I'm Pat Coleman, and we're talking with Mark Jensen, head coach of Whittier. His team here, it's hard to sugarcoat 0-2, so I'm just going to mention you guys were 0-2. And I'm just going to ask, what do you take away from this? What do you guys learn about yourselves this week you take back into SCIAC play?
Hard to say right now. We'll go back and watch some film. Guys played hard, and we 8 field goals in the second half. Hard to overcome that. And credit to Husson, they did a great job of just staying composed and crawling back into that game, holding the lead and putting a stranglehold on it. And credit to them. But we'll watch the film and hopefully gain some stuff from that and get better.
Yeah, you guys clearly have a lot of pieces, right? There's you got a lot of guys who have some experience playing at previous schools, helping you guys out this year. Just kind of talk about the character of the program right now.
Yeah, a lot of transfers, which is always a challenge. We got a lot of new faces on this team. Trying to get these guys on the same page is really our biggest task. I agree. I think we have some pieces to win basketball games, be competitive in our conference, and that's our job as coaches, get these guys on the same page. And when we do it, we're going to be all right.
It's been a lot of talk over the last couple years or so about how the SCIAC, which, is, I'm going to say maligned. I think people have maligned the SCIAC, has gotten better, right? Pomona-Pitzer's gone into the second weekend of the tournament on more than one occasion. 2 teams in the tournament last year. Very competitive conference tournament. Let's talk about how the SCIAC has improved.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I've been around now as an assistant coach and a head coach for 18 years in a row. This is probably about as good as it's been from top to bottom. There's not an easy game. You didn't even mention Caltech's very improved.
I did not mention Caltech. Right.
Very improved. I think Laverne watching them this weekend, think they're a little bit better than they've been last year. Every game is going to be tough, and the top is just beastly. I mean, Pomona and Claremont have set a tone now for years. Redlands and Kowloon put themselves in that conversation as well, and Oxy's really good this year. So Chapman, I know I'm forgetting somebody, but it's going to be a grind every night. It's really good right now.
Do these young guys and these guys who are new to your program, do they understand that?
Maybe not all of them. Yeah. No. I think it's there's a learning curve there for the new guys, and especially for the transfers, come in and understand what the conference is and the level of competition and what you got to bring every single night. Attention to detail and scouting reports. There's a learning curve there for sure.
All right, so it's not just basketball when you're here in Las Vegas, or maybe it is, but generally then the team and the members get to go out and do something fun, do something kind of Las Vegas-y. What do you guys have on the docket?
We have an alumni base here, and one in particular, Dan Carvalho, is a big supporter of our program. Took us out to dinner the other night at a really nice restaurant. Yeah. We try to give our guys as many experiences like that as we can, and understanding that the other people allow us to do those things and being grateful for that. Other than that, we try to keep them here as much as we can, keep them out of trouble.
Yeah, I always tell people this. I tell athletic directors and coaches this. Wheaton College comes here to this event. Calvin College has been here to this event. And if those schools can send their young men to this event, then pretty much any school, I think, can feel comfortable sending teams to Vegas.
No, and this is a great event. Like, this is the second time we've done this in 3 years, 4 years, but it's full time. It's been fantastic. It's well run, and I'd love to keep coming back if we can.
Appreciate it. That's Mark Jensen, head coach of Whittier, his team here at the 2023 D3Hoops.com Classic.
Football has taught me a lot throughout my life. It's definitely had a huge imprint on who I am as a person. Competing at a Division III level created that opportunity for me to go to college. Not only was I the first one in my family to graduate college, but I was really the first one to even go. Being the first one, I'm breaking that cycle, and now that I've graduated, I'm not sure what's the next step, but I know I have a lot of doors open. And a lot of those are open because I played football and ran track here at Otterbein.
We've got more schools than Division I, more fans than Division II, and more upsets than March Madness. There's nearly 850 programs with over 11,000 games leading to 2 national championships. And we've been covering it all for over 2 decades. From Eastern to Occidental, from Puget Sound to Piedmont, from Southwestern to the University of New England, and from Hope to Calvin. Nobody covers Division III basketball like we do. We're D3Hoops.com at www.d3hoops.com.
Welcome back out as we get ready to start second half action here between the Sage Hens and the Lakers in a top 25 battle. Look at stats from halftime. Pomona-Pitzer 8 of 26 from the floor at 31%. They are 2 for 7 from beyond the arc at 29%, 4 of 5 from the free throw line at 80%. While Oswego shoot 11 of 30 from the floor at 37%, 7 of 17 from beyond the arc at 41%, and 6 of 9 from the free throw line. It's the only category they're not doing better than the Pomona-Pitzer, though they've taken a lot less shots, has Pitzer. Rebounds in favor of Oswego. Neither team has really turned it over as we are back underway. I'm Dave McHugh, Pat Coleman alongside as second half action begins with Pomona-Pitzer with the ball in the blue uniforms with the white numbers and red trim. Going left to right across your big screen. Maybe you're watching it on your mobile device or your tablet or your computer or just listening somewhere. We appreciate you tuning in, whether on Huddle Blue Frame or on our YouTube simulcast. As driving the lane was Cookson and drawing the foul. Oswego is the home team for this game in their home whites with the green numbers, yellow trim going right to left. Oswego's got, well, everybody's got their starters out there. Achille Anderson, Cook, Bowman, Sparks for Oswego, Cookson, Malarkey, Hadeen, Bergman, and Boyle on the floor for the Sage Hens as the first free throw is good for Cookson, team's leading scorer for Pomona-Pitzer as he hits that one to give himself 7.
Yeah, Dave, I mean, Cookson obviously, no doubt, needs to be more involved in the offense and obviously more successful. You look at the, I don't know if you went down individually.
No.
1 of 4, 1 of 5, 1 of 3, 2 of 6, 2 of 5. That's your starting 5 from the floor for Pomona-Pitzer. And Cookson obviously accustomed to shooting well, better than that from the floor in the course of the season. He came into this event shooting 63% from the floor, 58% from beyond the arc. It is it's a stark contrast to his performance in the first 9 games of the season.
Absolutely. So going the other direction, Pomona-Pitzer off the turnover inside, drawing the foul but missing the basket.
Nice look from Malarkey to get it into Bergman.
Yep. Bergman will go to the line to shoot free throws. They shot better than Oswego, but they weren't there nearly as often. So now they're off to getting 4 free throws in their first 2 trips down. And that one was a miss, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sorry. I wasn't sure what you were searching for.
Just something in my brain. Literally, that's it.
Second one's good.
Second one good, and so doing better at the free throw line now.
Well, and,
getting some points.
Right, and getting that lead back down to 10. The kind of surprised, the big three at the end of the first half for Oswego to put them up by 13. Kind of a big statement there going into the halftime locker room. They go into the halftime locker room with a big burst of energy.
We're a minute 15 into this half. Oswego with its second possession, and Henderson rattles it home. 37-25 the lead for the Lakers, as they are playing much better basketball now than they were to start this game, or they did against Case Western. Though really against Case Western they didn't play horribly. They just ran into a team that was playing phenomenal.
Exactly.
Biggest lead of the game here at 7. No, that's not right.
This is 12, and it's not the biggest.
13 is their biggest lead.
That's
there it
pretty
is.
close.
I was looking at the wrong team. As Cook gets the rebound, coming back the other direction, gets it up ahead to Achille. Achille Henderson to Anderson. They've got Bowman out there, and Cook and Sparks. Sparks has the ball. Cook now to Achille, you were saying.
Your statement reminded me, Pomona-Pitzer led this game by 7 at one point.
Yeah.
It was 12-5, but it was up by 7.
Yeah, Oswego started this game struggling as Sparks misses that one. Jason Leon not happy about it. I don't think he wanted him to shoot there. Now driving in, spin move in the lane, Hadeen. Pomona starting this one well. Showing that 1-2-2 3/4 court press, trying to trap the Lakers, sliding into a 3-2.
Got these big long arms, right? That's ought to be something you're able to do off a made basket every once in a while.
Anderson in the middle, kicks it out. Cook for a 3. No good, rattles out. And the rebound pulled down by Boyle.
We were talking in the previous Pomona-Pitzer broadcast how much it reminded us of those classic UW-Stevens point teams.
Yeah.
Big guys up front with long arms in a zone because they could move.
Vividly remember that.
Your Jason Calsos.
Yeah. Oh, push off there. Boyle got away with it. Shot up, no good, and Bowman pulls down the rebound. Out to Anderson on the outlet. He will drive and then stop. He'll kick it to Sparks. Sparks will get headed off by Hadeen, and then Hadeen with a little too grabby will get called for the hand check, and he knew it. That is his first.
Foul, number 12. Getting a little grabby.
Yep. 16:42 remaining. Anderson drives in, gets cut off in the paint. A handoff to Cook on the near wing. Cook will try the same thing, and he'll find a little room.
Yep.
And he hits the floater, and the lead back out to 12. Up the other direction quickly. Hadeen's got a chance. Lays it home as Anderson couldn't cut off baseline.
Yep.
Jason Leon has seen enough of his defense as he thinks there's a little too much laziness and calls a 30-second.
Yep, got to get back. It's Anderson who's going to go to the bench as Lazo comes into the game.
Yeah, Jason Leon, there's one thing that frustrates most coaches is if you aren't going to play good defense, especially transition. It's a full timeout. We'll take it as well. Oswego up by 10 here at the D3Hoops.com Classic.
More schools than Division I, more fans than Division II, and more upsets than March Madness. There's nearly 850 programs with over 11,000 games leading to 2 national championships. And we've been covering it all for over 2 decades. From Eastern to Occidental, from Puget Sound to Piedmont, from Southwestern to the University of New England, and from Hope to Calvin. Nobody covers Division III basketball like we do. We're D3Hoops.com at www.D3Hoops.com.
Back to the last game of the D3Hoops.com Classic for this year, and thanks again to Oswego for jumping on board and being a part of our broadcasts. Also thanks to all the rest, including Rhodes. and Case Western Reserve and Husson. We appreciate their support of our work. It's a shot missed by Lazo. In the game, Hadeen pulls down the rebound. A little better reaction from the defense of the Lakers to get back. Malarkey's got the ball. Man-to-man defense. He gets around the screen, kicks it back out. Boyle for 3. Back iron no good, and Bowman pulls down the rebound. And throws it away. As Malarkey gets the ball, Sparks blames himself. I didn't realize it was Sparks who threw that. As Malarkey now with the ball goes around the Boyle screen, looking for Boyle, doesn't have him, so he lays it up instead and misses the layup. And Achille pulls it down. Hope you're enjoying this on the East Coast or on the West Coast or somewhere in between. It's been 16 interesting games, to say the least, in 4 days. 1 in the first, 6 on both the second and third, 3 today. As Sparks hits the 3. And the lead back up to 13, their biggest of the contest once again at 15-13 to go.
And Dave, I mean, the best men's field we've ever had at this tournament, bar none. We've had a couple of years with a couple of really good teams, and we certainly had like Whitworth at high level and Whitman at a high level and Stevens Point at a high level, but to have so many teams ranked or with 1 loss or no losses, it's a good event.
Dean on the drive, yeah. One of these teams is coming out of here with their first 2 losses back-to-back of the season. Right now it's looking like Pomona-Pitzer, which is a bit of a surprise. Considering at one point against Trinity, I thought they were going to absolutely control that game, and Trinity ended up doing that instead. Now they're struggling against the Lakers. As, granted, the Lakers are on a mission, but so is Pomona-Pitzer. It's a foul called on Bowman's attempt. It'll go against Boyle, I believe. He got the foul clean, or the ball clean. Nope. Is it on Boyle? I think it's going to be off. Yeah, it's going to be on Cookson, off. So Boyle got the ball clean. It's his first team second. What's interesting was Boyle was convinced it was on him, but it was Boyle who gave the push. Not Boyle got the ball clean. It was Cookson who got the push off. Out of the game goes Bergman. Back into the game comes, or for the first time this half, Avdalovic. As Bowman can't convert on the second, so the lead is 12.
Dave, as good as Pomona-Pitzer is this year, and even if they do come out of here 0-2, just look up and down this roster. There's only one guy who's got an SR period after his name. Everybody else is juniors, sophomores, freshmen.
That's what actually makes Oswego kind of rare here this week. Everybody else who's top ranked have got a lot of youth. Nice drive in. Sparks off glass. Count it, going to the line. I mean, you look at Rhodes, not in the top 25 conversation, but they've got 1 senior.
Do Case Western Reserve for me.
Yeah, they got everybody, but they've been showing that they replace everybody. That's the crazy thing about Case Western Reserve.
Out on the free agent market, as it were.
Sparks misses that, and a lot of times Todd McGinnis isn't. Heck, Todd McGinnis went and looked for 1 guy this offseason in the transfer portal. The rest came to him, which was kind of a weird sequence. They got a good graduate program there, that's for sure. Shot missed. Hadeen tracks down the rebound. And a great job of Anderson to track that down, but it bounces out of bounds.
Great job tracking it down and also not destroying a table.
It's true, or himself. As Cook is out, Lazo is in.
I suppose that's fair.
In the meantime, I mean, Rhodes has nothing but youth. Clark will return everybody but 1 next year. That will be a held ball. Good job of Lazo to get in there. Katsiafikas can't believe the call, but from this angle, it looked like that was exactly what happened. And so it'll be a turnover back to the Lakers on the held ball. Who else was I thinking about here? So Clark has all the youth coming back. Oswego's definitely older, and they will probably take a bit more of a hit. Case Western Reserve, let's just see how they reload in the offseason.
Right.
Rhodes is a young team that I think is up and coming, though they had a rough game today as Anderson drills the 3. Trinity, a team that's got a bit of youth on its side. Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch.
That's good. It's good when Division III basketball is fun to watch because we watch a lot of Division III basketball, so it better be fun.
Boyle with it, hands off to Cookson. Cookson pulls the trigger and drains the 3. They need him to heat up. Deficit down to 14 after it ballooned to its biggest at 17.
It's Cookson's first 3 here at the Classic. 0 for 4. yesterday and missed his first one today.
Anderson on the drive, hands it off on the cutter. Achille hits it.
There you go. I'm seeing why people like this Lakers squad, Dave.
In the paint, up and in for Adalovic. The Folsom, California native gets that one to fall. Well, and that's the thing about this Pomona-Pitzer team. Again, one senior, as you mentioned, to go with the theme.
Yep.
Sparks. Woo! This is a shooting they were missing against Case Western.
Sparks is 6 of 11 from beyond the arc, my man.
Could you imagine if they'd been shooting like this against the Spartans, how different that game would have been?
It would have been different.
I mean, the Spartans shot the living lights out of the building, seriously.
Spartans also really good at extending their defense, really good at getting their arms up.
Yep.
Someone's got to get that ball. I'll do that.
Well, you can go right ahead if you really want to. In the meantime, subs for Pomona-Pitzer. They will bring in Hayden Mosier for the first time this half, Charlie Treen as well, and Ty Bergman returns this half. 11:50 to go. Pitzer looking for a spark, but Sparks is on the other team. 53-36. Cooks in against Sparks, looking for a room. Turnaround jumper, no good. And in the meantime, 2-point takedown in the corner as Lazo and Mosier tied up. And I guess it went against Mosier? No, it hasn't been official yet. Yeah, it will be against Mosier, and so it'll go back to the Lakers. 11:35 left. If one thing, the Spartans of Case Western may have made an argument for first place votes in the top 25. Thanks in part to Calvin getting trucked yesterday. And John Carroll having already lost bigly to Hampton Sydney.
Bigley's the word for that.
Three-pointer good for Achille. Yeah, that's a John Carroll squad that led by 8 midway or even late in the first half, and then Hampton Sydney opened up a can. 11:05 left to go here in the event. Inside at Davidic, outside, three-pointer left short by Mosier. Quickly up ahead to Lazo, and Lazo gets creamed by Mosier.
Mosier's like, that's not me. I was like, yeah, it's a one-on-one, and
earned it.
You missed the ball and got all arm.
Listen, you're not going to want to give up 2 easy points. Make them earn them at the line.
Maybe that's the no he was saying. He's like, I'm not just going to let you get the easy layup.
56-36. We have had 3 games today that all looked on paper like they were going to be good, close battles that have just not developed. In the first one, Rhodes and Occidental in women's play, we thought Occidental could give Rhodes a hard time, and they ended up just smoking Rhodes altogether. And then it happened to the men's Rhodes team as they were taking on, geez, I just called the game. Hold on.
Laverne,
thank you. Rhodes men with a win, looking to come out of here 2-0, and Laverne men had a completely different perspective on that and frustrated Rhodes to the point that the starters were benched the last 4.5 minutes of the game. As driving in was Cookson, but draws the foul, and Jason Leon didn't like something defensively there. And so Cookson will go to the line here. And here we are now with a 21-point lead for the Lakers, who were trailing by 7 and struggling out of the gate of this game.
Yeah.
The Sagehens have only scored 24 points, 25 points since they led 12-5.
Meanwhile, Oswego here in the second half, 8 of 12 from the floor, which is 67%. 4 of 7 from beyond the arc.
They've been outscored 45-25 since having the lead.
This will be interesting. Obviously, this is not a game that's over, right? But you take this back and you look over this film and, maybe do some soul searching too, right? If you're a member of the Pomona-Pitzer squad and Cookson think that pass was probably intended for him. It just kind of glanced right across his arms. Thankfully, Moser was there to get it.
And Moser got harassed by Lazo. He didn't like the mosquito there. So out of the game goes Adavlich and Boyle back in. Yeah, well, it's not going to get much easier for Pomona-Pitzer, as I think Whittier and especially Laverne proved this week. The SCIAC is a much deeper conference and tougher than we anticipated.
Right, and of course that doesn't include Cal-Lu, doesn't include Claremont, doesn't include Redlands for sure, doesn't include Caltech, which is no pushover anymore.
Chapman,
I keep forgetting Chapman.
In the corner, Boyle for 3. That one rattles home. No, it's a long 2.
Boyle for 2.
Cuts the deficit to 18. Nice shot, just foot on the line. Lazo gets it to Achille. He'll get it back to Lazo, and it's a 2-3 as Pomona, or one answer, 3-2. He continues sticking that. Forcing Oswego to shoot, but Oswego's had some good chances, both inside and out. Lazo from just inside. The key, misses it, ball is loose, and the rebound to Rashawn Grant, who's into this game, misses the close-up shot, the junior out of Poughkeepsie, New York. Resets the shot clock, 11 on the shot clock when Anderson fires and misses. So 9:17 remaining, and here come the other direction, the Sage Hens. We still haven't discussed or had an answer as to who would win in a mascot battle between the Lakers of Oswego and the Sage Hens of Pomona-Pitzer. Nice up and under from Crittenden to avoid Cookson. You can see the frustration on Cookson's face as it's back to a 20-point lead.
Now my question is, could you on a boat? Where does this battle take place, on land or sea?
I think it's a valid point. Granted, the Sage Hens can fly away.
Yep.
I would assume
not
they
super
are
far. I mean,
bird.
it's kind of a ground chicken, right?
I'm assuming. As good no call there. I like that they understood that was just incidental stuff. Meantime, Achille with it. I mean, I think I got to go with the Sage Hens with their flying ability and with a beak. But Lakers, some have argued, have an oar.
Is it just one against one?
Well, that's how it works. Yes.
Yeah, man. I think
mascot.
Some big burly boatsman sailing the Great Lakes on a freighter is gonna handle a Sage Hen and gonna eat it for dinner.
Maybe. Foul on Crittenden. As back into the game comes Sparks, he'll give Achille a break, and apparently he and Jason Leon are having a good old time on the sideline. He and Leon and Achille. 8:16 remaining. Lakers certainly can feel better about this game. It's Gordon. 8:05 left. Bodies are flying. Going the other direction. Shot up and good. It continues to work out for the Lakers. Katsiafikis has seen enough. He calls another timeout. It'll be a full break, so we'll take it as well. Oswego fully in control, 61-39 with 7:50 remaining.
We've got more schools than Division I, more fans than Division II, and more upsets than March Madness. There's nearly 850 programs with over 11,000 games leading to 2 national championships. And we've been covering it all for over 2 decades. From Eastern to Occidental, from Puget Sound to Piedmont, from Southwestern to the University of New England, and from Hope to Calvin. Nobody covers Division III basketball like we do. We're D3Hoops.com at www.d3hoops.com.
Welcome back here. 7:50 left to go in the 13th annual D3Hoops.com Classic. Game number 16 of 16. Dave McHugh, Pat Coleman alongside. Gordon Mann along with us. Ryan Coleman, our photographer. Riley Zayas has made his presence known, and the Sherpa of the group, Dharma, is alongside of us. Lakers 61-39 the lead.
Damara.
I did say it wrong the second it came out of my mouth. I was thinking a different show.
Yes.
Dharma and Greg.
It's a little less hippie, but only slightly.
Okay. I don't usually talk about one's weight.
I'm a little less fed. A lot less fed.
32. Shot from the top of the key for the Sage Hens, no good, and pulling it down is Grant.
As in employee of the, Secret Service or whatever Greg is in that show.
2.5 minutes now. Scoring drought for Pomona-Pitzer, and they've turned it over 3 times in that span. 7:12 remaining here. Lakers in control. They're going to be happy if they can continue this. As Sparks puts it up and in to at least come out of here 1-1 with a really good win over a Skyac team. They're going to just wish they could get that. Jeez, nearly turn it over as Boyle got lazy with the pass back to Cookson. They're going to be disappointed in their game against Case Western Reserve, but they maybe needed that. As Lazo gets the steal. Swings it up ahead to Anderson. Anderson over to Crittenden. Rattles out. And the rebound pulled down by Mosier. Hadeen. No good. He'll go to line though. And Boyle trying to bring his team together to talk things over. Hadeen will go to the line. He's a 56.5% free throw shooter coming into this event. Team sixth foul. Means Oswego will have bonus shots after this. $63-40 the score now as Cookson departs. Malarkey returns. Pomona-Pitzer surprising with one of the shorter benches here this week. As the second one is good for Hadeen as well. 22-point lead for Oswego. Crittenden, Anderson, Sparks, Grant, and Edwards on the floor for the Lakers. Anderson with the ball. Scoop underneath a Boyle. And the lead, the biggest of the game at 24.
Yeah, it's a very impressive performance. You get a couple hours to lick your wounds and then a day to prepare and come back out and try to do something different, and they're doing it.
Crittenden, Edwards, 3, no good. And Grant got pulled down on the rebound. That shot won't count. Or will it? I don't believe it should count. Nope. Right call. Foul called on Mosier. That's a team 6, so after the inbounds, it'll be bonus for Oswego running into the future as well as Sparks gets it, kicks it out to Anderson, now over to Crittenden. Crittenden drives in, step back at the free throw line, misses the shot though. Battle for the rebound is going to go against Edwards as he picks up the foul. It's team foul number 7, so we will walk this way to the other side to shoot some free throws. As Pomona's going to start going to the bench here. Connor Fitzgerald will enter the game. He will replace Hayden Mosier. Fitzgerald, a 6'3" freshman guard out of Scottsdale, Arizona, making his, I think, 5th appearance in this tourney, but I can't remember if he played against Trinity. So worst case, making his 6th appearance on the season as Boyle hits the free throw. He was 6 of 9 coming into the weekend. I call it a weekend. It's not a weekend.
I know, right? I'm doing that all weekend.
Into the game, Owen Idalovich. Yeah, I do it every year. Sometimes it does fall on a weekend. Both free throws good. Deficit down to 22. Some of the teams come out of here with results that are not indicative of just how good they are. Edwards' long 3 was too long, and Crittenden saves it from going out of bounds, or going across the midcourt line. Sparks picks up his dribble. We'll get it to Crittenden. Crittenden with 4 on the shot clock finds himself in the paint. We'll put it up, and he'll rim off with 1 second remaining. We'll draw the foul. Not sure if he drew it with Crayolas or pencil. Crittenden goes to the line to shoot. There's only 8 of 9 coming into the event.
Microsoft Paint.
Well, that's not a bad one. Especially if Mr. Clippy joins us.
I mean, he was in the lane, so.
Jaden Kennedy ready to enter the game for the Lakers. That shot is good. Of course, Jason Leon is 12th season at Oswego, 3-14 and 117. He spent 4 seasons at Keystone ahead of his time at Oswego.
Well, it seems like forever ago.
6-time Coach of the Year in this conference, and he was Coach of the Decade for 2010 to 2019, believe it or not.
It was nice of them to pick a Coach of the Decade.
And forcing the issue and drawing the foul and hitting the basket, Mr. Connor Fitzgerald. Or I guess I should say it, Mr. Connor Fitzgerald.
I was going to say that's your Michael Myers impression, right?
Close, yep. With a side of
haggis?
No. The side of Sean Connery. Under 5 minutes to play in the 13th annual D3Hoops.com Classic. I am thankful to say we've enjoyed our time here, but we are exhausted.
Clearly. Dave is maybe more so than most. I know Dave was the guy who deals with the technology and the technology issues and that kind of setup.
They're draining enough sometimes. 4.5 to play. Fitzgerald with the ball, throws it outside to Boyle, who then sails it too far for Evdalovic to get up to it. And Sparks will drive all the way in and sink it. And at one point does Jason Leon decide to pull his starters, leading by 23 as he talks to his assistant coaches. And I think the answer's now as he's starting to go to the bench.
So Dave, you're the guy who does the tech and the broadcasts. I'm the guy who does the video editing. Gordon's the guy who does the writing.
And Grant with the foul there as the shot was from Fitzgerald. Yeah.
If only we had one more person to do the social media, then we'd be in good shape.
Perfect. I have not tweeted once, I think, from the Hoopsville account. I apologize to everybody out there. Every time I go to do it, something comes up, and by the time I get home, I've decided I've had enough. Free throw no good. Oh, he was shooting 3. I forgot about that. Fitzgerald. 1 for 3 from the line coming in. And we'll get our subs in. We'll quickly note Pomona-Pitzer because these guys are returning. Joe Cookson and Ty Bergman. And now for the Lakers. They'll bring in number 12. He normally wears number 11. Chris Toscano, the 6'2 junior guard from Franklin Square, New York, making his 5th appearance in the season. I don't remember him playing against Case. Again, he normally wears 11. He's wearing 12 today. Also into the game, number 33, Stephen Bradley. Not to be confused with that Stephen Bradley, the 6'3 freshman guard out of Staten Island, New York. Edwards returns to the game, as is Tucker Rosbrook, though, for the first time this half, and that's going to be a drag with a pivot play. Mr. Bradley. Also into the game, Jaden Kennedy, 6'4 sophomore guard at District Heights, we mentioned, was going to be entering the game. Malarkey with the ball as Pomona-Pitzer is looking for answers here, at least to get them ready for return to conference play. So that shot is missed. It's an easy rebound for Kennedy.
At the end of this game, we're going to run down the entire
Kennedy all the way in the lane with a Euro half step. Yep.
D3Hoops.com, D3Hoops.com Classic All Tournament team.
Quickly up ahead, Anderson. No, sorry.
Including naming a most outstanding player for men's basketball for this event, which is not something we have yet discussed.
3 minutes to go. My choice is still the same as it was last night.
Where did you go last night?
Well, I went to
we went to the sushi place, but yeah, exactly.
For dinner.
I pulled up Harvey at
choice number 2.
Yeah, it got 2 guys with pretty amazing resumes, obviously.
I think he put the team on his back, and they absolutely blew the doors off of some really good teams.
Certainly did.
As Toscano hits the free throw, he's 1 of 2 coming into the event, and he hits the first of the 1 and 1, I should point out. Sage Hens, by the way, are going to have double bonus the rest of the way. You were saying, sorry, sir.
Well, I was going to ask Gordon, do you have an opinion on most outstanding player for men's for this event? And I messaged you some stuff in the channel.
Ball out of bounds, tipped out as the Lakers are showing a little bit of a zone, I believe. I believe I'm seeing zone from the Lakers. SUNYAC teams take note. By the way, SUNYAC a little weird this year. Brockport, who's head coach, Greg Dunn, retired.
Yep.
Not the formidable team they're used to, but New Paltz could be the one to watch.
Interesting. Taken away.
Fredonia might be a little tricky. Nice steal. Quick up ahead. Good job to avoid the foul by Cookson. Unfortunately for Kennedy, he tried to avoid the contact. But the entry pass by Malarkey inside to Bergman was off target. So we'll go back the other way with 2:27 left and a 20-point lead for the Lakers. Yeah, I'm trying to think who else in that conference could. I mean, listen, just the travel alone will make a trip to Plattsburgh a beast. It's not like Geneseo is a piece of cake either. Cortland could be interesting under a new head coach as well this year, as Tom Spanbar retired moments after saying he was thrilled to come to the Final Four for the first time. As Kennedy drills the three-pointer. And I guess a substitution timeout called by Pomona-Pitzer.
Back to the previous conversation for a second. Gordon's take is that Harvey hit the game-winning shot in one of them. He tied record in the other one.
I know. I just think the games were out of reach because Mosier made sure they were.
You're talking about Mazzio.
Mazzio, sorry. I thought Mazzio made those games out of reach by doing absolutely everything. Shot from deep, shot from close, played tough defense, sparked his team.
Great.
Achilles Daniels Condon into the game, by the way.
I got a tiebreaker vote. Lovely. That's what I hate to have.
The big three-pointer from Stephen Bradley. No, I understand he hit a game winner, but I also, the rest of the team kind of put them in that spot. They should have dominated that game against Clark. No, Clark's a really good team, don't get me wrong. 76-50, I don't think Lyon's going to love how this one's finishing, but the reserve unit is kind of playing the starters out here.
True.
With 75 seconds left.
They're playing rotation guys.
Yeah.
Right. His non-rotation guys are playing.
Cookson was out there a moment ago. He's now no longer there. Nice steal in the backcourt by Kennedy. Three-pointer good from Edwards.
How about Edwards today? Remember that spot in the first half where he came off the bench and hit a big shot that fired people up and got the three-point play.
Absolutely.
And, he's only got 6 points tonight, but big part of
long-distance shot missed. Yeah, no, I agree.
A bigger part of it than 6 out of 79 points would suggest.
No, actually, good production from Edwards as he drives in here. Looking for some help. He'll float it outside to Toscano with 33 seconds left in this one. 79-50. Lakers in charge, and Toscano dragged his heel. Got a little too far into the paint and had to back off. And this will be the last possession, most likely, of the 13th annual D3Hoops.com Classic from South Point Arena.
It's been a fun one. 16 games with some great basketball teams.
Three-pointer, no good from Daniels Condon. Or Condon, not sure which, as this is going to wrap up. 79-50 is going to be our final. As the Lakers, who were down 12-5, came to life and got a important victory here today as they get past Pomona-Pitzer. And unfortunately for the Sage Hens, they will go 0-2, suffering their first 2 losses of the season. But they will return to conference action in what will be a thrilling SCIAC to watch. In the meantime, Jason Leon certainly happy about his team's performance. They will go home 1-1, suffering their first loss in their first 2 games away from home. And for them, they will reevaluate and get ready for SUNYAC play with a 79-50 victory. Quickly looking at stats, Pomona-Pitzer 16 of 48 from the floor at 33%, 3 of 17 from beyond the arc at 18% compared to Oswego's 27 of 61 from the floor and 14 of 31 from beyond the arc at 45%. Neither team took advantage of the free throw line too much. Pitzer was 15 of 19, Oswego 11 of 18. Pomona-Pitzer had 15 turnovers to the Lakers 10. Lakers turned those 15 turnovers into 21 points. Pomona could only turn the 10 turnovers into 5 points. Lakers out-rebounded the Sage Hens 39-32. And Oswego ended the game on a 10-0 run in the final 3:15, which saw Pomona-Pitzer turn it over 4 times in that time span. The leading scorer for Pomona-Pitzer was Cookson with 14. Boyle had the most rebounds at 8. Malarkey had the most assists at 4. For Oswego State, Sparks led the team with 29 points and 4 assists. Achille pulled down the most rebounds at 11. As that's how this one looks without going too far into detail. Pat's got some awardees I'm sure he'd like to mention.
Well, we got to figure out. I think Jeremiah Sparks, pretty clear.
Yeah.
From Oswego. What do we do on Pomona-Pitzer?
That is a tremendous question, sir.
I was about to start naming names. I'm like, oh, wait a minute.
Don't need to do that. I'm going to look at the split from today's game. Cookson with 14.
Yep.
Hadeen with 13. No one else jumps out. So I'd have to see game 1, sir.
Yep, so game 1, Hadeen with 14 on 6 of 14 shooting, 1 of 6 from beyond the arc. Malarkey 12, Cookson 11, 3 of 11, 0 for 4. Boyle with 10.
Kind of like Hadeen.
I'm down with that. All right, so hardware.
Yes, get some hardware from this event. That's an actual thing.
Too many tabs open here. Here we go.
Crowd is riveted, sir.
All right, so here we go. All tournament team. We're going to start with the women. Tiara Brown of Laverne, Layla Dials of Ohio Northern, Avery Marsh of Rhodes, Flannery O'Connor, Framingham State, Jamie Reedy, Trinity, Texas, Annette Ramirez of Westminster, Missouri, and Tony Thompson of Occidental, the most outstanding player. On the men's side, Phil Dotson of Rhodes, Jasper Hadeen, Pomona-Pitzer, Riles Neff of Husson, Amari Smith for Whittier, Jeremiah Sparks for Oswego State, Isaiah Taylor for Clark, Damaj Warren for Laverne, Jacob Harvey of Trinity, Texas, and then the most outstanding player, Anthony Mazzio of Case Western Reserve. I considered what you guys both had to say. I think the thing that swung it for me was Mazzio had 2 amazing games, and Harvey had 1 amazing game and then a very clutch shot at the end of the other game. Obviously 2 guys who had amazing tournaments here, and that was where I went. So that is on the website as of now.
There you go. Congratulations to all involved.
And I got to go hand out some hardware and get some people out here to get classic conversations with.
And we will wrap up the broadcast. I want to thank everybody who tuned in, but also thanks all of our partners here at South Point Arena and Sport Tours International, including and not limited to Brett Seymour, who, as always, Austin as well as assistant, did a tremendous job in helping us out. We always appreciate it. D3 Photography on site with Ryan Coleman. You can see all those images online. We got links to every game that Ryan has put together, so you can go on there and purchase some pictures from the D3Hoops.com Classic here at South Point. Of course, I want to thank all of those who supported us. I want to thank all of those who bought some advertising with us. That's no small thing. I want to thank Oswego and, well, let's see. Oswego, Case Western Reserve, Husson, and most especially Rhodes, who advertised the entire event. We appreciate you all for your support of our work here at the D3Hoops.com Classic, D3 Hoops, and of course in part my work at Hoopsville. A couple of business items. The new top 25s, I believe, will be out on Tuesday coming up on the men's and women's side. They should be fascinating to look at. Christopher Newport on the women's side losing will free up some votes, I think, at the top of that poll. On the men's side, there is almost no one left for first place. It is going to be down to maybe a team like Case Western Reserve, who was out here, or Hamden Sydney, or somebody else. It'll be a fascinating vote on the men's side. We'll talk all about it on the first Hoopsville coming up on Thursday of the new season, or the new year, I should say, 7 o'clock Eastern time. Looking forward to getting back on the air and talking more about this, and certainly more with our coaches as well. So for Gordon Mann, Pat Coleman, and everybody here, I'm Dave McHugh. Thanks for tuning in to all 16 games of the D3Hoops.com Classic. Thanks for dealing with some of our technical difficulties We appreciate you sticking it out. Our final game, Oswego State gets the victory over Pomona-Pitzer 79-50. Case Western Reserve makes a statement while they're out here. So do a number of other teams as well. We're going to go pack everything up, get a nice bite to eat before we all head home to enjoy the New Year's with our families. We hope you will enjoy the New Year's with yours as well. And if my family's listening at home, I love you. I'll see you soon, and we'll get to relax just a little bit. Have a great rest of your evening, everybody, wherever you're listening. Have a great New Year's. Look forward to a lot more Division III basketball as we get closer and closer to the end of February and March Madness.
We've got more schools than Division I, more fans than Division II, and more upsets than March Madness. There's nearly 850 programs with over 11,000 games leading to 2 national championships. And we've been covering it all for over 2 decades. From Eastern to Occidental, from Puget Sound to Piedmont, from Southwestern to the University of New England, and from Hope to Calvin. Nobody covers Division III basketball like we do. We're D3Hoops.com at www.d3hoops.com.